Happy Monday. I'm on here just a little bit early, so we're gonna let people hop on before we get started with today's topic, which is loaded stretching. When you join, let me know that you're here so I know who's joining me today for loaded stretching. I'm also going to add a super chat goal today. So I didn't even know I could do this. I can make super chat goals on live and choose a prize. So our first, we're gonna try this out today and just see how it goes. Maybe it's fun, maybe it's not, okay? So our goal for the first 15 minutes, I'm about to start it, is going to be 5 super chats of light blue or higher, so $2 or higher. And if we get there, I'll do 20 push-ups, okay? And then we'll do something else for the next 15 minutes or so. So we're gonna try this out today and just see how it works. Let's see. How can I? Okay, so you can see it now. It's in the chat. So you guys can contribute to the goal if you want to see me do 20 push-ups, okay? So a $2 or more donation. If we get 5 of those in the next 15 minutes, I'll do 20 push-ups, okay? So today we're going to talk about loaded stretching. It is 1 p.m. and we're gonna get started discussing this. So this was a request I got a few weeks ago as far as loaded stretching, using weights to help you stretch. Okay, so this is gonna fall more into the mobility category because let's talk a little bit about mobility versus flexibility. Always good to clarify when we're talking about, stretching and mobility drills. Flexibility is your passive range of motion versus mobility is your active range of motion. So a passive stretch means that you can just access the range of motion, but you may or may not be able to contract your muscles or have any strength there, versus mobility means you have control throughout the range of motion. So for example, with a squat, your flexibility in a squat maybe that you can, you can sit all the way down into the bottom of your squat, okay? So I have the flexibility to be this low in my squat, but do I have the mobility throughout that range of motion? So that depends if I can maintain really good control throughout that entire range of motion. I will tell you that I don't fully have control at the very bottom. At a certain point, it becomes difficult for me to keep my muscles active and to actually control that range of motion. So typically there's going to be a bit of a discrepancy between our flexibility and mobility, our passive and active range of motion. So loaded stretching is one way that you can help take a passive range of motion and make it active, or just strengthen a range of motion that you do have some mobility, but you don't have as much strength in. And this can often be more effective than just passive stretching. Mobility in general is going to be more effective at you being able to access particular ranges of motion whenever you want. Because just because you're flexible, you're able to get into a range, doesn't mean that your body and your nervous system perceive that it's safe for you to access that range of motion. Because if you're just flexible, you just have passive range of motion there, you could potentially get injured in that position if you're sort of forced into it quickly, or you have to generate force and your body's not ready to, okay? So in case you guys just joined and you didn't see it, I just started a goal on super chats, okay? We're trying this out today for the first time. If we get 5 super chats in the next, let's see how many minutes we have left. We have 11 minutes and 45 seconds. If we get 5 super chats of $2 or more, I'll do 20 push-ups for you guys, okay? So you can see me get down and give you 20. So if you guys want to contribute, send me a super chat, $2 or more. If we get 5, we'll do that, and then we'll do another one, and we'll do something else as a special offer. Not push-ups, but something else. Not me doing anything, but something for you. So check that out. Okay, so Why loaded stretching? Okay, why are we talking about loaded stretching today besides the fact that it was requested by somebody who wanted to know more? Stiffness, when you're stiff or when you're tight, this can indicate a lack of flexibility and or strength, okay, and or the mobility there, that active range of motion. So you may need to stretch, or you may need to strengthen in order to reduce or remove that stiffness. So stretching obviously helps you with flexibility, but loaded stretching is a way to take that and make it active and help you with your mobility, okay? So there's different types of exercises that can help you with improving mobility. And I'm not just gonna be talking, we are gonna be doing some actual exercises. So if you wanna see some different loaded stretches, stay tuned, that is coming up. Yes, I will give some more examples in just a moment. I had a question in the chat. I will be giving more examples in a moment. So there's different types of exercises you can use to improve your mobility. So there's joint mobility, so taking your joints through different ranges of motion, often circles. Like a real simple one is awesome. We got one super chat. Adam wants to see me do 20 push-ups. If anyone else wants to see me do 20 push-ups, we need 4 more super chats in the next 10 minutes. Thanks, Adam. Okay, so joint mobility, one simple example would be like, and I'm not talking about loaded stretching yet, I'm talking about the different ways you can train your mobility, okay? So joint mobility would be like slowly taking your wrist joint through its range of motion because you're going slow and with control, you're helping to establish better active range of motion, okay? So that's one way. Joint mobility is a great way to warm up your body, to check in with your body. Another way to improve your mobility is isometrics, okay? Teaching your body how to contract in a particular position, and that's not always a hard contraction. It may be a gentle contraction, because if you're not super strong somewhere, you want to kind of work your way up. Work progressive, right? Another way that you can improve your mobility is eccentrics, okay? So slowly lowering down into a position. You can do repetitions through a range of motion where you're having to contract. So that's also why, strength training is a way that you improve your mobility, because you're doing repetitions through a particular range of motion. That's why many people say doing full range of motion is important. If you want to increase your mobility, you have to move through that range of motion with some load to build strength. And now load can also mean your body weight. It could mean weight, like an actual weight to add to it, or just your body weight. We got 8 minutes, guys. 8 minutes. We need 4 more super chats. So hopefully you guys will join Adam there if you want to see me do 20 push-ups. Okay. And then there's loaded exercises. And like I mentioned, it could be body weight. That could be with body weight. Some of the exercises I'm going to show you today are with body weight. And then some of them are with an actual weight, like a kettlebell, a dumbbell, weight plate, something like that. Loaded stretching is more advanced than most of the other types of mobility training, I would say, because generally most people aren't used to loading certain ranges of motion this way. And it also depends on which things you're loading. And again, you should be working progressively with this, just like anything else. It's just another type of strength training. And so we're gonna go through some stuff today. You're welcome to join me. We're gonna go through kind of a joint mobility warm up. We're gonna go through a basic warm up, and then we're going to jump into our loaded exercises. And some of them may not be appropriate for you to do today. It may be something for you to work up to, or some of them you may be able to do today. And again, as I mentioned, you may want to start body weight or with a very light weight to start, depending on whether the range of motion is very accessible to you, if you've trained it before, etc. I got a question here from Problem Solving Consulting. Said, I started doing squats with a 10-pound weight. I'm not sure when to increase the weight. Do you have any suggestions? So it depends what your goal is. It depends on what your form is looking like. It depends on how far along you are in your training journey. So if you're earlier along in your training journey, it can be good to take time to set foundation with a light weight, even if it doesn't feel that difficult. Doing body weight or light weight for several months, especially if you're still working in your form, may be really helpful. As far as how to know when to increase the weight, this is going to depend on your goals. So it also depends on, and because it's going to depend on your goals, because you could adjust, you know, your rep range, you could change your tempo, you could change your weight, you could change your rest time. There's a lot of different things you could do depending on whether you want to train your strength specifically, your endurance, your mobility. What those goals are going to change which factor you want to adjust as you work on progressive overloading. Problem solving consulting, so the follow-up question, should I increase the duration of weight training if I'm used to a 10-pound weight? Again, I don't have a great answer for you because it depends. What I can tell you is that the people that I work with, the students I work with within the Kettlebell Solo membership who get the program and classes that I teach, we generally recommend for their training that they stay with the same light weight for about 4 to 6 months. But we're also making progressions within the variation of the exercise, the number of reps they're doing, the exercises that they're training. So it just kind of depends. You may be able to increase before that pretty easily. So it would be a little bit difficult for me to tell you exactly. You could increase the weight, you could increase the duration. There's different ways that you could do it depending on what you're working on. Okay, so let's check on our goal real quick. We only have 5 more minutes. Hopefully we get 4 more people that can drop a super chat so I can do 20 push-ups. So Adam didn't send his super chat for nothing. You're welcome, Adam. Yeah, sorry about that problem solving consulting. It's a bit of a tough question when asked by somebody who I don't know anything about. And again, it depends on your training experience. So yeah. I don't want to give you a specific answer that I'm not sure is applicable to you because I feel it's not responsible as a coach. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with some joint mobility. If you want to follow along with me, we're going to get kind of warmed up before we do our loaded stretching here. Okay, so we're going to go through just some basic joint mobility from head to toe. Before I do that, we had a question here, how do I find your training program? So I'm going to send you to, you can find the training that I teach in follow-along classes on the Kettlebell Solo website. And you can also look at my other website for if you want to just do programs that you can follow along on your own. No follow along, but like a PDF that you can follow. So you can find those there. Okay, so we're going to start off with a little bit of joint mobility. We'll keep it pretty basic, pretty simple. We're going to start off with some neck mobility. This is to warm us up for our loaded stretching, because like anything, you always want to make sure you warm up, okay? It's a good practice. You want to avoid getting injured. You're going to tuck your chin and look up. This one's going to be important because we are going to do some Jefferson curls in our workout. If you know what Jefferson curls are, put your hand up in the chat. If you don't know what they are, that's okay. I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. Okay, so with joint mobility, we're generally just exploring the range of motion. There's many different joint mobility exercises you can do, but we're going to keep it pretty simple. Okay, you're going to go ahead and do some shrugs here for the shoulders. Okay, taking our shoulders through a nice big circle. Guys, we only have a few minutes left for our super chat goal. So if you want to see me drop down and do 20 push-ups, we need 4 more super chats in the next 3 minutes. It's got to be $2 or more. Okay, reverse direction. If we don't make it, we'll do a different goal. Maybe watching me do 20 push-ups is kind of boring. We'll do something else that will be more appealing to our viewers here, okay? Next, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to shift the rib cage from side to side, so get a little movement through the midsection. Okay, we're just going to make our way down the body. Okay, now I want you to go palms forward. You're going to bring the arms up, rotate around the pinky, and press down. Okay, a little bit of movement for the elbows. And joint mobility is a great way to better control your ranges of motion of your joints, but also for you to check in with your body and make sure that you're respecting what it needs today. Okay, now we're going to reverse it here and then rotate outward around that pinky. Good, okay, we're gonna go down to the pelvis. We're gonna do some pelvic tilt. So soft bend in the knees. You're gonna lift up the back of your pelvis and then tuck under, engage the lower abs. Okay, we're gonna do about 10 reps. I like to put my hands on my hips to help me kind of move the pelvis back and forth. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're going to take our hips through a little range of motion. You're going to bring your knee across. You're going to open out. Now here you're going to rotate by lifting the foot up. Okay, some internal rotation on the hip. Okay, and then we'll reverse that. Kick it back, lift up, rotate around. I'll show you from the side on the next rep here. Out. Okay, lift up the foot, rotating from that hip. Good. Reverse. Just taking our hip through its full range of motion there. Okay, other side. Bring it across. Out. Rotate. Good. Little teeny extension. Up. Rotate. Bring it back. One more time. Rotate across. Out. Internal, and bringing it back. Good. We're just going to do some knee circles next. So you're just going to bend the knees a little bit, get a little range of motion for the knees. I guess I'm not going to have to do 20 push-ups today. That's a relief. Good. Reverse direction. Good, and then we'll just finish out with a little bit of ankle, point, and flex. We'll just do 5 here, and then we'll move into our specific warm-ups where I'm going to tell you guys what exercises we're going to be doing loaded stretching on today after we complete our warm-up, okay? Okay, we got a question here. How do you manage to get correct form if you are training by yourself? That's a good question. I think a great way that you can work on it is taking video of yourself from the front, from the side, from different angles, and taking a look at your form and making some adjustments. It also comes from just understanding the movement, and that may take some time. It can help to be coached for a while and then keep working on your own. Or just make sure that you take it slow and explore the movements. And I think as you explore the movements and listen to your body, you'll start to learn more about it. So some of it may be trial and error. Gone, I'm not sure. You said middle-aged women really do everything just to not lift a weight. I'm not sure what that means, but you can expand on that if you like. I've lifted very, very heavy weights and still do at times, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. It's good not to make assumptions about people you see online. We got a question, how to supply max oxygen to the brain during workouts? Well, you got to make sure you get your breathing in tune. Make sure that you're breathing and that you're practicing your breath work. Yeah, Handstand Man said breathing helps. Exactly. All right, so we're going to move into some drills that are going to prepare us for what we're going to load with our work. Okay, I'm gonna have to go ahead and block gone, okay, because you're just distracting in the chat. Okay, so let's start another goal in the super chat because I'm trying this out today, okay? Because this makes it more sustainable for me to continue doing lives. I really appreciate those of you that have donated. Adam, you rock. Okay, we're going to set another timer for 15 minutes. If we get 5 super chats, $2 or more, I'll host an Ask Me Anything session on YouTube. Okay, so we're starting it. We're starting the goal, I think. Doesn't seem to be wanting to load. Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to help. Sometimes forget to breathe while working out. That's one of our comments here. Yeah, that's common. I understand. It's a practice. Okay, for some reason it's not letting me. Why it won't let me do this, I don't know, you guys. Give me just one moment. Sometimes there's technical difficulties. Give me one more minute. We'll try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We're moving on with our workout. Problem Solving said, I'm trying weightlifting out with kettlebells really the first time. I'm really liking it. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Kettlebells are such a good way to get in shape, such a fun form of weightlifting. And hey, that's okay. If you're only doing a 10-pound, it doesn't matter so much when you're first starting. Just focus on your form. That's what's most important. All right, let's see. All right, we were able to do the goal, okay? So if we get this new goal, okay? We only need one super chat, but it's got to be $10 or more. If we do that, I'll host an Ask Me Anything session. I don't normally do this because I don't really want people to ask me personal questions, but I will host an Ask Me Anything session if we get one super chat in the next 15 minutes for $10 or more. So if you want to see an Ask Me Anything session, then send over that yellow super chat, okay? All right, so let's get into our body weight warm-up. We're gonna do some shoulder cars, which we are going to load in a bit. So it's essentially taking your shoulder through its full range of motion. So what we're gonna do is you're going to come up, thumb back. You're gonna go as far as you can, and then you're going to rotate through your shoulder and bring that thumb down, okay, into extension and into the body, okay? Then we reverse it here, then we rotate open, and then bring it back. We're gonna do that 2 more times, and we'll do it on the other side. Bringing the thumb back and reversing it. And 1 more time. Thumb back, rotate, extend, and coming forward. Good, other side. So thumb back, as far as you can, then turn and rotate thumb down. So you're internally rotating your shoulder, okay? And then reverse it in that same position, then open up, pinky forward, and up, okay? 2 more. This is gonna be a really good way to warm up your shoulder. And as I mentioned, this is best to start body weight first, but it's something that you can load over time. But you wanna make sure that you're smart with, you only load something after you've practiced it with body weight, right? No need to load it if you can get the benefits without it, at least initially. Somebody asked, was you at a Diddy party? No, I was not at a Diddy party. David Washington said 23 count military push-ups. Well, the push-up goal is over, unfortunately, because we didn't get enough super chats, but there's another option to do an Ask Me Anything session. I will do it potentially on Friday. If you guys want to see an Ask Me Anything session, we can bring all your questions, ask me whatever you want. We need 1 super chat of $10. You're welcome for the response. That was an easy one. Okay, we're going to do a handcuff stretch next. So you're going to interlace your fingers. You can either go palms apart or palms together. You can keep elbows bent or arms straight. And again, either palms apart or palms together, depending on your flexibility. And we're just gonna stretch this out, okay? You're gonna make sure that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together to open up your chest. And make sure you're not really like sticking your booty out or arching your back. Tuck your tailbone under and pull that rib cage in. Make sure you're really stretching your shoulders and your chest. Again, this is one we are going to load, okay? We're going to load this one. Just important to stay active here by squeezing those shoulder blades together, okay? Then go ahead and release. Next up, we're gonna prep for our Jefferson curl with a little full body roll down. So you're gonna tuck your chin. You're gonna round your spine, round, round, round. You can place a little bend in your knees if you're not super flexible here. All the way down. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, and you're gonna roll all the way up. And again, tuck your chin, roll. Tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. And one more time. So yes, we are going to load that exercise as well. I'm going to show you in just a minute. Okay, so next one that we're going to be loading is a side lunge or a Cossack squat, depending on your range of motion. So side lunge would be to here. Okay, if that's challenging for you as far as range of motion, you can stay there. If you're a little bit more flexible, you can go down to a Cossack squat, where you're going to lift up the toes on the other foot. Of course, I'm in a frame where you can't really see it. Okay, so I'll show you on this side. Okay, Cossack squat would be where you sink into one side and you're gonna lift up your heel. Okay, so side lunge or Cossack squat, it's up to you. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just go for 5 reps. I'm probably just gonna work on the side lunge range of motion here. 3, again, we're just getting warmed up. 4 and 5, switching over to the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, we got a couple drills left. For this next one, we're going to go into our pancake stretch. Okay, so for this one, you're going to bring the legs out to whatever position is comfortable for you. Okay, and you're just going to kind of get comfortable here. So you're going to kind of just shift around and just hold it for a little bit just to see how it feels. Just wait until you see the exercise we're going to do here. It might blow your mind or just make your legs cramp. I don't know. Okay, one other one we're going to do here is you're going to do a lateral stretch, keeping both of your seat bones down on the floor. Feels really good to stretch out the side body. And yes, we are going to work on strengthening this position as well. We still need 1 yellow super chat. If we get 1 yellow super chat, I'll add an extra live session this week. It'll be an Ask Me Anything session. So all your burning questions you've ever wanted to ask me, you can ask at that session if we get a super chat in the next few minutes. Okay, last one, we're gonna do some ankle dorsiflexion. So that means this range of motion of bringing your knee over your toe while keeping your heel planted. Okay, this is dorsiflexion for the ankle as opposed to like plantar flexion would be like that way. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is you're simply going to keep your heel down on the ground and you're just gonna gently rock forward and back to just stretch your calves, open up your ankle. Okay. This is our last little warm-up drill, and then we're going to get into our loaded stretches. So I'm going to show you some examples of loaded stretches. Other side. Okay, most important thing is you keeping your heel planted, and you're just rocking forward and back. I'm resting my chest on my thigh and sinking forward, keeping that heel planted so I get a nice big stretch. All right, so we are all warmed up. We're gonna get into our loaded stretches here. I'll answer one question before we get started. Your question is, how much time should people be exercising as a beginner? You're gonna hear a lot of different things on that. The best amount of time to be exercising as a beginner is the amount of time that is sustainable for you. Lasting results come from being consistent in the long run. It's less important how many times a week you work out or for how long. It's more important that you can keep doing what you're doing for the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years. Okay, that's where you're going to start to see the results. So choose an amount of exercise that doesn't make you so tired that you don't feel like continuing, or that doesn't burn you out or injure you. Okay, so for some people that may look like 30 minutes twice a week. For some people that might look like 10 minutes a day. For some people that might be an hour once a week or an hour every other week. It's less important exactly how much time, and more important you can continue doing it in the long run. So there's different ways that it can be done. And there are no hard and fast rules. Even just 5 minutes twice a week is better than nothing at all. Okay, so we're gonna do our loaded stretching. So for our shoulder exercise, okay, for this one, because it's a very long lever, first of all, remember that I said you shouldn't start this exercise loaded. If you've never done it before, I would actually recommend just doing it body weight along with me, or grabbing onto a tennis ball or something else that you can squeeze tight as you do the exercise. But it's one that over time you could load to build strength and range of motion, okay? We're gonna use this little teeny plate. This is a 1 1/4 pound plate. By the way, we only have about 4.5 minutes left to achieve our goal of getting the 1 super chat. If we get that $10 super chat, I will do an Ask Me Anything session later this week. So drop that in the chat if you want to see an Ask Me Anything session. Okay, yeah, it's a tiny little plate. It's nice to have a tiny little plate. You want to have something small, okay? So we're going to work this shoulder exercise. We're just going to go ahead and do like 3 reps each side. So I'm holding on to my little plate. Okay, you could do it with a very light dumbbell if you have it. Thumb back, and then remember you are rotating to internally rotate that shoulder, and then come into this shoulder extension, okay? And then you're reversing it. Okay, you come up as high as you can, and then rotate, pinky forward. Okay, and we're gonna do that 2 more times here. Rotate. Make sure my box is not in the way there. We're gonna be using that in a moment. Good, 1 more. So this is really going to teach your shoulder, or teach you how to have better control through the full range of motion of your shoulder, okay? So here, shoulder flexion with the arm over the head, making sure you're keeping your rib cage down. Rotating into internal rotation, an extension, okay? And then reversing it, going into that extension. Externally rotating the shoulder, bringing it back through flexion. Okay, 2 more. Again, this is a good one to start body weight before you do this, because body weight is a load, okay? Before you ever start using weights, body weight is part of it there, so don't discount that. For some exercises, body weight may be plenty for you. Good, okay. We're gonna move on to our second exercise. Question here is, can you share why the exercise with arm rotation, what it helps with? So this helps with mobility for your shoulders, okay? Because we're moving through the range of motion. Flexion, okay? Internal rotation of your shoulder, then we're in extension, which is this way, okay? And then it also is going to work your external rotation of your shoulder. So if you improve range of motion in your shoulder, that's going to make it much easier for you to do other exercises like an overhead press, like any exercise where you are putting a weight over your head. Pretty much any upper body exercise is going to feel better, stronger, and you're going to be able to access it and activate the right muscles more if you have good mobility and control. And yes, you kind of answered it yourself. I just saw that. I guess it increases range of motion of the shoulder and prevents injury. That is absolutely something that it does, although I want to say nothing can really prevent every injury. There's always a risk of injury, but if you make your body more resilient, you reduce your chances of getting injured. Okay, so this next one is that handcuff stretch. Okay, so you could use a dumbbell, you could use a kettlebell. Okay, this is a little bit of a different kind of stretch where we're using the weight to maybe help us get a little bit deeper into the range of motion. It can be easier to get into this range holding a kettlebell sometimes because it's helping to pull us in than by doing it by clasping the hands. Okay, so this is also going to help with opening up the shoulders, but also stretching the pecs. Okay, maybe stretching your traps. So this is something that you could do for a static hold with a weight. I'm using a kettlebell, but you could use a dumbbell or a barbell. Okay, so if you have tight pecs, this is a good exercise to work on stretching those pecs out, and it's a pretty basic one, so most anybody could try this exercise with a weight, depending on the amount of weight you're using, of course. Okay, so our next exercise I want to show you guys is called a Jefferson curl. Okay, and I'm going to have to try to get the right angle for this one. It's a little hard to capture the whole thing, but you can do this exercise with a dumbbell or with a kettlebell. I'm going to use a dumbbell. You could also do it with multiple dumbbells. Okay, you need something to stand on that's sturdy. And what this exercise is going to do is going to help you strengthen your back, and it's going to help you stretch and strengthen your hamstrings. Now, if you don't have great range of motion in your hamstrings, you're going to want to do it with your knees bent. Okay, my hamstrings are pretty flexible, so I'm able to keep my legs straight. But again, this depends on the person. So I'm going to hold on to my weight, and similar to that roll down we did in the warm-up, you're going to tuck your chin and start to round from your upper spine through your mid-spine, through your lower spine, keeping your tailbone tucked. Nice stretch on the hamstrings. And then tuck your tail, tuck your chin, and roll it back up. So this is one where people think, oh my God, you're rounding your back. Isn't that going to injure your back? Not if you use the appropriate weight and the appropriate progressions. This exercise will actually greatly help you strengthen your back. It's important to train all different positions, especially for mobility training, because if you accidentally get into that position at some point and you've never practiced being in that position, you're more in danger of getting injured. Okay, so tuck the chin. A few more here. And one more. All right. We're going to park that one aside. I'm very curious to hear what you guys will think of that one. Yeah, problem solving said I would feel uncomfortable doing that standing on something like that. Is there modification? Absolutely. You can do it without any weight and without a box. So just like I showed in the warm-up, you can simply go here. And roll back up. So like I said, loaded stretching, adding a weight is advanced. You can always start with just body weight, okay? And you want to start with examining that range of motion before you ever add a weight to it. GJ said, feels good. I was standing flat-footed for now. Yes, great idea. You don't need to start on a box, okay? All right, so we're gonna go into some tempo side lunges or Cossacks. It's up to you there as far as which one you wanna do. I'm going to use a light kettlebell. Let's see. Use this light kettlebell here. Okay, so this is a great example of an exercise that is strength, but it is also will help you with your mobility for your hips, okay? So we're just gonna go nice and slow. For those who know what tempo is, you can think of going slow tempo. So this is a great exercise to load, to work on improving your mobility. Good. I'll switch it over to the other side. And again, exactly how many reps and sets you do on this is going to be dependent on the person and where you're at in your training journey, what your goals are, what you're able to recover from. And we're really just going through a sample of some different exercises so you get an idea of what it means to do loaded stretching. So it's by no means a program or a comprehensive outline of all the exercises you can do, just a demo. Thanks, Problem Solving. Appreciate you. They said they found this live helpful. Velvet Thunder said, I already pulled a deadlift PR today. Can't do any more legs. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Should definitely take some rest. All right, we're going to go through some loaded pancake drills. So again, with this one, it's really going to depend on your range of motion and where you're at. So just know that there are, you don't necessarily need to do this right now. This is just an example of different ways that you can work on improving your range of motion here. If it's hard for you to sit up straight, you can sit against a wall or something heavy behind you that helps you sit up tall, and you may just need to work on your flexibility here first before you start working on your mobility, okay? But this is an example, a great example of an exercise that you can do loaded body weight that's very difficult without any weight added. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take your hands down to the ground on either side of the leg you're gonna work on. The further you take your arms forward, the harder it becomes, okay? The further you take your arms back, or if you lean back, it gets a little bit easier. So you wanna adjust it for your range of motion. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to lift up and gently lower the leg. Okay, so this is a way to strengthen up the front of the leg, which is important for range of motion. It's not just about being flexible on the back side of the leg, but it's about being strong on the front side of the leg so you can pull yourself deeper into the stretch. Okay, and then same thing you do on the other leg, right? Here, little lift and down. So this is one where you can easily cramp when you're first doing it, so be cautious. Only try to lift it a tiny bit, or you may just be trying to lift. Okay? Another way that we can start to train this position is by, if you are able to sit up straight and you do have good range of motion here, you can load it by sinking forward and coming back up, okay? So we're loading the hips a little bit more. So even though that's with body weight, you can start to make it more difficult the lower you go, okay? The lower you go, the more challenging that's going to be for your body weight or for your range of motion, okay? And then over time, you could work on loading that up, okay? Or if you have a lot of range of motion, you could go to the back and work on strengthening there. Then another thing I like to strengthen in this position, this depends on your goals, but this is a great way to strengthen up your obliques. I showed that stretch here. So what you can do is you can start to load with the body weight this way. Okay, so great exercise to strengthen your obliques. And it's already going to add weight. With the hands behind the head, you could make it harder by reaching arms over the head. Again, you're trying to keep your booty cheeks down on the ground as you do this. And then as you progress, you could use either a light plate or a dumbbell. Again, you could hold it at your chest to start and move slowly into holding it over your head. But again, you want to have proper progression for that, of course. Okay, so one more drill we are going to go over is the some ankle mobility you can do with kettlebells or with weights. So working on ankle dorsiflexion, this is going to be a key one for a lot of people who are, if you're trying to improve your range of motion in a squat, you want to make sure that you look at your ankle mobility. Okay, so you could do just range of motion where you're keeping your heel planted and you're using the weight to help you stretch out your ankle, or use the weight to push your knee forward and then contract the tissue on the shin and the top of the foot. So like you're trying to lift your toes, and you're going to be able to work some good isometrics there to help you build strength in your shin to be able to have better control throughout your range of motion for your ankles. Okay, so again, you can use the weight to help you just sink forward into the stretch, or you can use it to come forward into the stretch, keeping that heel planted and trying to lift up the toes, contracting the shins. Okay, so that's just an example of how you could work on range of motion for your ankles in particular. Let's see here. Problem Solving said, I think this can help me when I find stretching boring. I can use a 3-pound weight or something small to add variety to my current stretching. Absolutely, absolutely. And just you want to progress slowly with your range of motion, with your reps and the amount of weight you use. DJ said easily cramp if you can do it. Absolutely, it's easy to cramp there. King B said, can you do slow? My form is awful. Was there a particular exercise you wanted to see again? King B1, let me know. Thinking Again said that's a big calendar. Yes, there's multiple calendars. There's a monthly one and a yearly one. I love it. Love it, love it. I'm glad to hear that it's coming at the right time for you, Problem Solving. That's awesome. Hi, OB15. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about loaded stretching today. Okay, so we missed our last goal. We're going to try another goal here in the last few minutes of our session. Okay, so if you missed it, we're doing some super chat goals. So if we get one teal super chat, that's $5 or higher in the next 15 minutes. What do you guys want as a prize for that? You want to see another workout this week? Do you want to see an Ask Me Anything? Do you want to see me do 30 push-ups? I don't know. Okay, I'll do an extra live this week if we get one teal super chat. Problem Solving said, can you post a workout like this? Yeah, I could definitely do a specific workout at some point with reps and sets. I could do something like that, where I do loaded stretching. That's a good suggestion. I like it. You could also take a couple of these exercises and work them into your workouts. Because as far as a loaded full-on workout, if you've never done loaded stretching before, it might be a lot. It might be good to work in just a couple of exercises to start. Oh, looks like we got our super chat. DJ did it. Looks like we're doing extra live this week. Woohoo! Probably on Friday. DJ, let me know if you have a specific topic you'd like to see. You're welcome, Problem Solving. Thanks for joining. Thinking Again said, let's see your snatch form. Is there a question you have about it? If you want to send me a super chat, I'll be happy to do it and talk about snatch technique a little bit. King B1 said, I'm trying to learn yoga. Any tips? No, I'm not a yoga teacher, so I don't have any tips for you. Just be consistent with anything. I think being consistent is key. Okay, DJ wants to see an extra workout this week. We can definitely work that in. Anybody else want to have any input on what we do on the live? If you drop a $5 super chat, we can take in some other options on what we should do for the extra live. Any other questions today on loaded stretching, on mobility, kettlebells? I'm going to be going live again on Wednesday at 11 a.m. So I know I said it was going to be 9 a.m. each week, but things have come up. So 11 a.m. is going to be better. We're going to be doing a, trying to make sure I say this right. We're going to be doing a stall bar workout. And then I got to double check on Thursday, we're going to do the hip stretch and strengthen. So if you like today's mobility work and you want to do more mobility work, then join on Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to talk about hips, strengthening the hips, and stretching and strengthening the hips in particular. So if you have tight hips, if you want to learn to get better range of motion in your hips, definitely join on Thursday for that. Deontay said frog pose. You want that to be included as a topic, or what do you mean by frog pose? Hi, Khalid. Thanks for joining. Hi, Robin. Thanks for joining. If you guys have other topic suggestions that you want to see next week or on a future live, let me know. Anything within kettlebells, mobility, fitness, anything related to healthy lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. Happy to take suggestions. I always write them down. Looks like we're going to be doing an extra workout this week. Thank you, DJ. Hopefully, Adam, you can join for that one as well. I'll come up with something. If you guys have requests, DJ, do you have a specific type of workout that you would like to see? Hugh is saying PNF. So that's like a type of stretching. So I could definitely add that to my list to talk about PNF. So thank you for that suggestion, Hugh. DJ wants to see full body kettlebells. All right, I like that. We can definitely do that. DJ, can you make it on, are you able to make it on Friday? Like a Friday morning or afternoon? Let me know. That's what I'm thinking of doing because that would work well, but if not, then we can find another day to do it. Saturday could potentially work too. Hi, Gretchen, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Friday AM will work. Awesome. Khalid said I have pain sometimes in my buttocks, especially only the right buttock. What should I do? I mean, what type of workout or exercise should I do? You know, unfortunately, it's really hard for me to give a specific suggestion for if you have pain or an injury. It wouldn't be responsible for me as a coach to just tell you something random to do. I would recommend getting assessed by somebody who can help. I would recommend not doing anything that causes the pain to get worse. It sounds simple, I know, but it's something that I see a lot of people kind of continuing to do things even though they know it causes them pain. So if you can avoid anything that causes further pain, that is always a great idea. And things that you can do in pain-free range of motion to get to get more blood flow to that area, that's always a good thing. And just paying attention to like what your posture is like. Do you normally stand on one leg? Do you always cross one leg over the other? Sometimes there's postural things that can also affect stiffness or pain in our body. Thinking again said full body, just do clean and press a lot. I mean, that's possible, but also not necessary. But if you want to do full body that way, that's great. Ultra Digital said, I'm 22 years. My physique is very dangerous. Oh, be careful. King B1 said, any quad exercises? Any quad exercises? Well, some exercises, one of the exercises I really enjoy that's going to work quads, but going to work your entire leg is a thigh rainbow. This is one of my favorite kettlebell exercises for the legs. You could also do it with a pulse, okay? That's one I love. And then also just like a regular split squat. Okay, great exercise for the quads. Lie Hogwarts said, do you have cats? Yes, I do. Lyric Medina said, Holden, geez, mate. Yeah, I had to block Holden because Holden was going a little wild in the chat. Any other last minute questions? Thanks to DJ, we're doing an extra live this week, probably Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to come up with a full body kettlebell workout. Any other questions about mobility or loaded stretching today? Or any other topic suggestions for next week? Drop them in the chat. Did you guys like the super chat challenges? What would you guys want? What would motivate you to drop a super chat? Let me know if there's any other specific topics or things you'd want to see. I tried offering that I would drop down and do 20 push-ups. That one didn't work super well. Ask Me Anything didn't work super well, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Khalid said, oh yeah, I think I must notice to my posture. Thanks a lot. You're welcome. Happy to help. I think that's an easy one. Ultra Digital TV said, I like front squats exercise. Yeah, front squats are great. I don't really do a lot of barbell stuff, but I like a goblet squat, kind of similar to a front squat in many ways. Any other last questions before we log off here today? Jacob asked, can you sing Sigma Boy? I don't even know what that is, so no. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and log off. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Especially thank you, Adam and DJ. I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday for the next live. I'll also be going live Thursday and Friday, so hope to see you guys there. Have a wonderful week.